Zimbabwe is constitutionally a republic. The country elected Emerson Mnangagwa president for a 5-year term in the 2018 general elections. Despite incremental improvements from past elections, domestic and international observers noted serious concerns and called for further reforms to meet regional and international standards for democratic elections. Numerous factors contributed to a flawed election process in 2018, including the Zimbabwe Election Commission's lack of independence, heavily biased state media favoring the ruling party, voter intimidation, the unconstitutional influence of tribal leaders, failure to provide an electronic preliminary voters roll, politicization of food aid, security services' excessive use of force, and lack of transparency concerning election results. Some of these factors re-emerged in numerous by-elections during the year and in the early stages of the electoral process for the 2023 general elections. The ruling party leads the government with a supermajority in the National Assembly but not in the Senate. The Zimbabwe Republic Police maintains internal security. Police and the Department of Immigration, both under the Ministry of Home Affairs, are primarily responsible for migration and border enforcement. A group of senior force commanders may direct police to respond to civil unrest. The Zimbabwe National Army and Air Force constitute the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and report to a commander who falls under the Minister of Defense. The military also has some domestic security responsibilities. The Central Intelligence Organization, under the Office of the President, engages in both internal and external security matters. Civilian authorities at times did not maintain effective control over security forces. There were reports that members of the police, military, and intelligence service committed numerous abuses throughout the country. Significant human rights issues included credible reports of unlawful or arbitrary killings, including an extrajudicial killing, torture and cases of cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment by the government, harsh and live, threatening prison conditions, arbitrary detention, political prisoners, arbitrary or unlawful interference with privacy, serious problems with the independence of the judiciary, serious government restrictions on free expression and media, including violence, threats of violence, and unjustified arrests or prosecutions against journalists, censorship, and arrests for libel, substantial interference with the rights of peaceful assembly and freedom of association, restrictions on freedom of movement, serious and unreasonable restrictions on political participation, serious government corruption, serious government restrictions on or harassment of domestic and international human rights organizations, deficient investigations of and accountability for gender-based violence, including crimes involving violence or threats of violence against women and girls, trafficking in persons, laws criminalizing consensual same-sex sexual conduct between adults, although generally not enforced, significant restrictions on workers' freedom of association, and existence of the worst forms of child labor. Impunity remained a problem. The government took very few steps to identify or investigate officials who committed human rights abuses or engaged in acts of corruption and seldom arrested or prosecuted such persons. There were credible reports of human rights abuses by criminal gangs in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector. Authorities did not systematically investigate or prosecute such abuses.